Hello, on this video we're going to show you how to void or credit a transaction. So the first thing you do is get onto the logon page at SLIMCD.com, enter your client ID and password. And the first page you get is the stats page, and you can tell what page you're on by going over to the left column here, and that identifies it as stats. You need other pages, go up to the top bar and they're right up there for you, just click on them. But we need the stats page to do a void or credit transaction. You have to give somebody their money back. So on the stats column here, you move on down and you choose View Raw Logs. Select that. Now you have the View Raw Logs column, and then you choose Search Raw Logs. Now we're on the Search Raw Logs page, and over here at the left-hand top is the date range. Go ahead and put in the date range of the transaction. Now once you do that, there are a couple of ways you can find a transaction. You can put in the last four numbers of the credit card number, and if you're using American Express, you would use the last three credit numbers. You can also use the ticket number, or just put in the name of the customer. That will get you to the transaction. In our case, we're going to use the last three numbers of an American Express card. Then what you do is move down right over here to Show All Options, and you select Show All Options. Then continue on down and hit Submit. Now you can see all the transactions for that particular credit card number. So you go ahead and zero in on the particular date and then select that, and you can see the transaction right here. Now we're going to either void the transaction or credit the transaction. And if you remember, a void takes place before you batch out, and a credit would take place after you batch out. So you have to know which one took place. We're going to go ahead and assume that we did not batch yet, so we're going to do a void. So we're going to take this old transaction and create a new transaction. So you select that. And once again, the exact details of this particular credit card transaction comes up. Now what you do is you move on down to the transaction type. Once again, a void takes place prior to batching out, and a credit takes place after batching out. So we go here to the payment details, click on this, and we're going to do a void. If we were going to do a credit, that's right here, you take that. But for example purposes right now, we're going to conduct a void. Now you can only void the full amount of a transaction. You cannot change the amount. On the credit, you can credit anything up to the full amount. So here we're working with $12. For example, if the person wanted $6 back, you could credit back $6. And that can only take place after you batch out. But since we're doing a void before we batch out, the amount is right here for $12. And what you do is you move on down, you hit Submit, and the person gets his money back. The transaction has been voided. The transaction has been approved. You can create a duplicate receipt. You can email the receipt. And if you have more voids to do, you can go ahead and create a new transaction again.